So, welcome everybody. Welcome to the YouTube channel. This one's about mastering your mediumship. Feel free, if you're just joining me, to like this video about mastering your mediumship, but also feel free to like my channel and to subscribe to it, because I put a lot of videos on here to help people with developing their mediumship. Now, mastering your mediumship, that's something that I know a lot of students, when they begin to do mediumship, all they want to do is master it. And when you think about this mastering of mediumship, to achieve mastery in something, they say it could take 10,000 hours to master it. And you think, wow, that's a lot of hours, but 10,000 hours to master either a sport or something that you really want to do, like mediumship. It would take you 10,000 hours. That's 416 days, right? So 416 days, that's working on it every day. That's if you wanted to master it. So we're looking for mastery in mediumship. A lot of students come in, they're like, they may have a talent, but really they might lack the effort. And it's like, okay, so what is going to bring you mastery within your mediumship? That's going to be the question, right? And when you look at it, there are different things about it. It's not just doing the mediumship that's going to make you better. It's doing the attunement with the spirit world. It's doing your sitting in the power. It's knowing the difference between who's coming in. It's learning to work the pictures that are coming through. It's learning to work how the feelings are coming through. What are you hearing? Are you hearing it correctly? Is it absolutely crystal clear? All these things have to do with hours and hours and hours of practice and knowing that when you receive a certain amount of information, that information is correct. So mastering it is basically putting in the hours, putting in the hours. You could have like let's say we had two students. One student is like, they have loads of talent. This student number one has loads of talent. Student number two is average, right? Student number one would like to practice once a week. So the student number one with loads of talent wants to practice once a week. Student number two wants to practice every day. In a month's time, who's going to improve the most? You think about that, you'd know that student number two, because they put the effort in, they're going to develop quicker because they're putting in the work. So if you're enjoying this video and you're enjoying my videos, don't forget to give me a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There's a lot more videos here about mediumship development. So student number one has a lot of talent, but they're only practicing once a week. Student number two has average talent, but they're practicing every day. So obviously, student number two is going to progress quicker. So mastering the talent is like saying, okay, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of desire to really want to master your mediumship. And it's like continually thinking, how can I work this? Think about if mediumship was weight training and you only wanted to train your muscles once a week, what would they be like, right? Then if you were someone that trained every day, what would they be like then? You see, that's the difference. And that's what can make the biggest difference within your mediumship, is when you say, I want to master it, then you set yourself a plan and you go for it. And that has to do with the development side of it, but also the practice side of it, your desire, your passion, and the effort you put into it. That's what's going to make all the difference, because the amount of time that you put in practice-wise, plus the amount of effort you put in, that will equal the skill that you will achieve within your mediumship. So practice plus effort equals skill, right? So that's something to think. So the amount if you're putting 10,000 hours worth of practice in, and you're giving also just as much effort, you're going to have a phenomenal skill that you've created within your mediumship. but your skill plus your effort actually becomes the achievement that you want to achieve. Now, a lot of people get along the way when they're trying to master their mediumship. They get down. They're like, I get it sometimes right, and I don't get it this time right. It just means the equation of what you're doing within your mediumship is not correct. Like the things you want to checklist, you want to be checking is: are you sitting in the power every day? If you're not, that's something that you need to be doing, because that's going to boost your attunement to the spirit world. It's going to raise your frequency, and it's certainly going to make a difference within your mediumship. Are you connecting to the spirit world and feeling the attunement with the spirit world either every day or once or 3 times a week? If you're not doing that, then you're not recognizing within 2 seconds what the relationship is, or within 2 seconds who's standing behind you. And that's how quick it can get. The more that you practice, the quicker that it can get. And the more that you practice, the more information you can bring. So sitting in the power, attuning to the spirit world, which is different to sitting in the power, is sort of empowering your body, but also attuning to the spirit world and feeling, how does it feel with your own loved ones? How does it feel with your mother, your dad, your brother, your sister, your friends, whoever you've got in the spirit world, and attuning to them and feeling, how does it feel? And that is recognizing the strength of your connection with the spirit world. Because when you want to have an achievement within this, you're doing your skill. So you're having sitting in the power, you're having attuning to the spirit world, then you've got practice. How many times of the week do you practice? How many practice circles do you do? And are they good practice circles? Because you want to be in a practice circle, not where they're helping you all the time. Like you say, I've got dad here and he worked with his hands, and they say, oh, yes, I know he worked with his hands. He used to be a mechanic. That's not helping you with your mediumship. You need a good practice circle that's really going to be there. Say, okay, tell me more. He worked with his hands. What else? And in that way, you will develop and feel into that, and that will achieve more. So the thing is, you've got to ask yourself, are you happy with your mediumship where it is now? Are you happy where you are now? If so, fine, then you're happy with it. But if not, then you've got to put the change. You've got to say, I've got to make a plan. I've got to change. I've got to put the work in. So that means those 10,000 hours of mastery, that 416 days to mastery, you've got to plan those hours in. That means sitting in the power every day, going into the attunement 3 times a week, going to practice circles, practicing all these different techniques. And so you have the desire and the effort there. And once you do that, you'll create a skill, which skill plus effort will be your achievement. Now, that's what we want to do. So, when you think about it, it's something that I find with a lot of students. They have all the passion in the beginning and they love to do it, and in their groups they're doing really well, but they're not practicing as much time, and most of the things they say, I don't have enough time. Well, actually you do have enough time, because we create our time. And the biggest excuse for not sitting in the power, or not sitting in attunement, or not practicing enough, or this life happened and there wasn't enough time. But really, you create your own time. So if you can't do it at the time that you set out, you say, okay, I'll do it at a different time. So it's like that motivation, right? To create this mastery within your mediumship, you need to be the motivator yourself. You say, okay, well, I'm going to get up an hour earlier and I'm going to do this. I'm going to create some time. I'm going to make a plan. I'm going to do this plan. And in that way, you're going to start mastering more and more of it. And also, if you say, I'm happy with how my mediumship is working right now, you say, okay, I get a dad. He works with his hands. He works outside. And he's a nice guy, and he loves family. That's all very nice information. If you're happy with that standard, it's good information. But if you wanted to go more to mastery, you might say, okay, I've got dad here. He feels like he's a very strong personality. I know he worked with his hands. I see him working on cars. He's working on cars, and I can see not only did he work on antique cars, but he worked on very good quality cars as well. He must have had his own garage. Who would understand this? That's a different quality. And that takes more hours of practice and trust. And that's something else that people miss with it. It's like trusting yourself, trusting your mediumship, and trusting the spirit world. Now, to build trust with you and the spirit world, that's what those 10,000 hours are for. That's 416 days. When you can get that trust to come in, and you really spend that time and put the effort in, you will know when you got a father there, you'll know when you got a mother there, you'll know what the relationships are. You'll start hearing the names, you'll start receiving more dates and stuff like that. It will start coming naturally instead of you trying to force something that there's not enough power that you've built up within your journey to achieve. And that's where people get frustrated to say, I'm trying to get the names and I'm trying to get this, but it's not happening. And the reason is, did you sit in the power every day? No. So you haven't built up the frequency to really get that strong connection with the spirit world, which is what you need. And so we've got that part, we're going along our journey, we're mastering it, and we want to take it to the next level. That's when you get your monthly plan out and you say, right, I'm sitting at that time, I'm sitting in the power at that time, I'm going to sit with my guides on that day, I'm going to sit with the attunement with the spirit world on that day and recognize the relationships, I'm going to sit in the power and ask them to help me with this. All these different things is what we call the development side of mediumship that's not being done so often. And that's all the things that be in the background. You think about when you see a sprinter like breaking that world record out there on the track, you don't see him putting in those 10,000 hours in the gym, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, training himself 3 times a day, eating astronomical amounts of protein to get himself to that level. All you see is the result. And that's the thing you've got to be thinking about when you're sitting in the power and when you're sitting with attunement and when you're actually doing the work yourself at home, even working on your mind, working on your confidence, working on your trust. You're moving yourself into a momentum that's really all that groundwork, the foundation of your mediumship. And the moment you come to do platform work or podium work, working for an audience, you may look confident, but what people don't know is how much effort you put into being there. And that's the same with the private sittings that you'll be given. If you want to take yourself to that professional level, you want to give private sittings, you don't want to be nervous, then you need to work on the nerves. Then you need to work on your trust. Then you need to work on those issues. And when you work on those things, then you're moving yourself into a momentum of like giving yourself a stronger foundation within your mediumship and within yourself. And I tell you, this is the key. It's like, if I say to you, you plan yourself in 10,000 hours over the next year, which is almost impossible because you've only got 356 days in this year. You need 416 days. Well, plan it in for a couple of years. And when you do, and you actually give the effort in and you really work to a certain routine, and you've got a good teacher that's teaching you and bringing you to that level and pushing you to that next level and seeing what you need to work on, when you do that, you will move yourself to the next level within your mediumship. Can you do sitting in the power, sitting down? Yes, you can. The only problem with doing sitting in the power, sitting down, people can fall asleep easily. So if you don't fall asleep, you're fine, but you can do it lying down. As long as you have that attunement sitting in the power where you are alert and you're feeling the energy around you, that's when you know you're sitting in the power correctly. So I hope that answers your question. If anyone else has got any questions, please do put them in here. So mastery, the journey to mastery is making yourself that commitment, because even the greatest mediums that I know, like that are professional from the Arthur Findlay College, I know they still sit in the power. And I also know that Gordon Higginson back in his day would still be sitting in the power, still trying out new things, still doing his development, all that thing, because what we realize is our mediumship can still get better even to the day that we pass to the spirit world ourselves. So you got to look at it as you still have to work it. It's like if you were going to do fitness for 1 year and get yourself totally ripped and looking good in a great body and say, look at me, I've got this great standard. And then the next year you do nothing, you're going to lose it all. So it's the same with your mediumship. You need to keep it toned. You need to keep it working. You need to be moving forward. And that's the motivation that needs to come from within to move you to the next level. So yeah, lying down is good for sitting in the power. What I'd like to do is leave you with this video, guys. I'd like you to take it to the next level. If you've got any questions about mediumship, please check out my other videos on the site. There's plenty in here. Also about the attunement is on here, about sitting in the power. Loads of questions are on this site. I've got more than 80 videos on here. Feel free to check out the videos on this site, and I'm sure they'll help you to the next level. I hope this. I hear someone's writing, I'm feeling inspired today, and I'm feeling inspired already. Just do it, because even in the most difficult times in your life, when you want to master something, that becomes something that's the mountain that you're going to climb. That's the next level. That's it. It said, okay, so this is what life's giving me. I will overcome. One foot in front of the other. I'll make the difference. And to tell the truth, I mean, a lot of people, I work professionally, I work in different churches in different countries, and I still sit in the power every day, and I still work, and I do my attunements, and I do my work on myself, so to get it even better. Because really, what do we want to be? Do we want to be the average medium, or do we want to be the best medium that we can be for the spirit world? And I put my hand up to that. I just want to be the best I can be. And you won't know how good that is until the day that you pass to the spirit world yourself. And that's something that I've been told before, and I'm telling you. So if you want to put in those 10,000 days of mastery, plan it in and do it. And just anything you see in yourself that you say, this is holding me back. If it's your mindset, if it's your fear, if it's anything else, just plan to work on that. That will be your foundation. I hope this has inspired you guys. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to check out the other 80 videos on here, and I'm sure you'll find an answer to your questions. And if you have any questions about mediumship, feel free to write them in the chat here, write them in the comments below this video, and I look forward to you subscribing to me or liking this video. Okay, take care, and speak to you again soon. Thank you.